All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, Nefas came out with a video saying goodbye for now, channel update. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to cover any more ESO content. However, when I said I was leaving the game for a temporary amount of time, Nefas did a react video on me. I think it's only fair to see what Nefas has to say here and provide my thoughts because yeah, maybe he's got something different to say. It'll be interesting to see if he has seen what I have seen or if there's something else that's come down the line. So let's dive into it.
I've been meaning to make this video for a few weeks now, but the last couple weeks have been pretty hectic for me in terms of my schedule. So I'm finally making this, and I'll probably upload it tomorrow by the time which you're watching this. So yeah, I'm basically gonna be quitting making ESO content, at least for the YouTube channel. And I'm probably also going to move away a lot from ESO as not just a content creator, but as a player. And I'll kind of go over everything because I just want to keep this video as short as possible. There's no drama here, there's no theatrics. I just don't really enjoy creating ESO videos at the moment. In terms of creativity or the space for it,
Look, guys, all I'm going to say is this. He says here that he's saying there's no drama and there's nothing about that. But let's be honest, he said goodbye for now in the title. There's clearly drama here. At least that's what I was told in my video when I literally said the exact same thing. So yeah, I'm not buying this, Nefas. You're literally trying to generate hype for views. I am not buying it at all. I'm kidding for those people that don't know me. But yeah, let's listen more.
everything has, even on the technical level, like everything has been done already. I feel like I've done a lot of it. People keep telling me, well, try this, but their ideas are basically the same, I guess, concepts. Like, there's only so many event guide videos or build videos or just the usual ESO content you see 99% of the time on the YouTube feed that you can do. I don't want to make my content soulless. I don't want to be one of those people that makes content for a game they're not exactly passionate or enjoying about, right? So on the creative end, it feels like I don't really have anything to do. It's kind of like, and the ideas again that people have offered are like, so like if I'm tired of painting, people are just giving me different ideas for painting. But I want to do something else. I want to do, I want to sculpt things. I want to, play with clay, that sort of thing.
Yeah, this is an interesting perspective hearing from Nefas because yeah, this is an aspect from a content creator that not a lot of people get to see. Like you watch people and you don't realize that there's a lot of effort that goes into these videos. Some more than others, of course, but you really have to enjoy what you're doing. You really have to do these things. And the other aspect is there's the reward aspect of it. As much as this is, all I'm trying to say is it's really tough to do videos in ESO. Like when I do a build video in ESO, it's great. Like I'll get views for it and everything, but that build's probably going to be obsolete in 6 months because the game is always changing so drastically. And so ESO content doesn't have staying power. Whereas like if you watch some YouTube videos, they'll last for years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And some content creators really like that aspect of replayability because if they bank a solid 50 to 100 videos or whatever your goal is, and they have that ability to sustain over time, they're going to constantly get views and clicks and things like that. And so the reward is higher for a video like that because it just has more staying power. And ESO does not. ESO is a very small niche community, and everybody knows when a new chapter comes out, basically everything else goes out the window. And so You don't believe me? Go and look up the, like, if you look up the analytics of a video from like 6 months ago, see what type of views they're getting now. Like, it's just the way it is. And so it's really tough to like want to spend 5, 10, 15, 20 hours on a video knowing that it has like a 3 to 6 month shelf life. And so there's that aspect. And then also what he's talking about is the creativity aspect of it. And not a ton of creativity right now. People that play ESO right now, they only want a few things. And so there's not much room to kind of branch out right now. It's like build gear advice, PvE or PvP, one button God videos, gold making stuff, and I don't know, like, should you play this in 2023? Should you play this in 2024? That's about it.
And it just makes no sense to me, especially if you just want to make videos for fun or share things for fun, to keep making videos or sharing things when you're not having fun. It just doesn't make sense to me at all. A lot of my content as well tends to be community based, like the 100 player events and even trials, right? So since update 35, more and more of the communities and friends I've played and worked with are gone or going away. I think this is like my third time going through this sort of experience as far as ESO is concerned, right? Because one time it happened, I think about 2015-ish, 2016-ish, and then happened again right after Morrowind. So yeah, I mean, I'm tired of it. It feels like I can't recommend ESO as a game based on the community anymore. You know how like everyone's always like, oh, ESO has such a welcoming community, oh, the community is one of the best. I don't think so anymore. It's because I feel like, and this is just my personal feeling, I'm not saying it's objective, it just feels like for me, the general space or ESO, I guess whatever amorphous meaning you give to the word community in the ESO sense, I feel like a lot of it has been changed because there's, obviously different people, and the people it lost, those people made playing the game special, and those people aren't there anymore or are going away. So yeah, I've been playing for a very long time, basically a decade at this point, so I don't think it's really healthy for me to keep focusing on something I used to enjoy. That's basically it. I guess that's where I want to go with that. So I want to pursue other things I do enjoy, and want to get into. I don't really care about views or whatever. If you guys want to stick around and go on the journey with me, that's great. If those of you who want to unsubscribe and just keep playing ESO and don't want to bother watching future content, that's good too. That's everyone's.
So a few things here. I'm going to say a few good things about Nefas. Nefas's community, as far as what he's done with ESOU, building people up, doing progressions, trial runs, and stuff like that, it was a huge undertaking that him and his people in his community have done, and I got to watch it basically. Like I've helped a little bit in his Discord with the PvP stuff, a very small amount, but I've been following it. I've been watching, and it's very commendable to see what he's done in the community, and you just have to say, like, as it stands right now, as far as content creators in the space, Nefas is one of the biggest. He provides some of the most information. Now, there's other people out there. Obviously, there are other people that will come and do other things. There's other people with other good content out there, but this is one of the bigger content creators in the space leaving once again. And so, yeah, and it's, some of it is like playing the game for a very long time. Like I've been playing the game since 2016, and so it's 7 years. It's a long ass time to play a game, and I've been doing content, I think, since like 2017. And so I totally get this perspective. So yeah, I get it. We're only 5 minutes in. Let's see what else he has to say.
Own individual decisions, contrary to what some ESO weirdos have always said. for some reason, no, I don't need to make ESO content to buy groceries or survive. I have a couple of side businesses in real life. I have some. I have other sources of income. I don't think anyone can survive on YouTube revenue for ESO videos. It's just that's impossible. I've always just made ESO content because I enjoyed making it. If you go look at my YouTube channel, no person's gonna upload as many ESO videos as I have per a 1 to 2 day average for the past 2-3 years since I started. And that being,
Look, that's not fair. I stopped playing for the last 9 months. I stopped doing content. I apologize, Nefas, but I was there. I was right there. I'm just playing, guys. I agree. He's pushed out a lot of stuff, and yeah, this is my perspective as well. I don't need money. I like YouTube ad revenue for a channel my size or even a channel Nefas' size isn't going to carry revenue. And so I've only ever done YouTube content for Elder Scrolls because I liked helping players. I liked helping the community. I liked making builds for the community because I loved getting feedback from people like, hey man, I tried this. This is awesome. Thank you. Like, I love doing combat changes. I love doing discussions because from my perspective, when sets or skills or abilities are extremely oppressive, it gets annoying to fight with. And if it's annoying, annoying means unfun, right? Like, it's not an exciting aspect to get dotted to death with procs and just like spam heals that they'll just reapply those procs with a light attack anyways. Like, it's just bad game mechanics. And so having those discussions was me trying to further the enjoyment in the game for players, not only myself, but people in the game. And Nefas obviously is doing the same thing, but kind of on the other side, the PvE side. And so I totally get this perspective.
insane. It just wouldn't make sense for someone to do that if they didn't enjoy it. So all the ESO projects, all the ESO videos I've done is because I enjoyed it, not because I need to make 5 more cents from a 6-second skippable ad. I think also the time for the kind of content I want to make and share or have done so, I think that era is gone. And I'm talking about like build videos and stuff like that. And I guess I'll bring this up. So recently I got a newsletter from Gashka. Gashka is a multi-game community that was also based in the Elder Scrolls Online. And I had a few friends from there. One really good friend from there as well, a long time ago. And they were decently big in ESO. I mean, I think I'm pretty sure they were one of the guilds, one of the 20 guilds that were invited to the original ESO Guild Summit back in 2014. And you know, this newsletter caught my eye because they said the title is "Letting Elder Scrolls Online Sleep for Now." It's never easy to say goodbye to a chapter. We have seen a gradual transition in Elder Scrolls Online over the years. It began as a vibrant MMORPG community with our membership exceeding 1,500 active players. In 2018, we hosted Chronicles of Tamriel and cleared zone after zone. In Alliance vs. Alliance, we ran upwards of 3 raid groups at a time and conquered Elder Scrolls for the Ebenar Pact. Our history is lined with fond memories and exciting times, and it is sad to see what has become. Over the years, changes were made that began driving players out of groups and off on solo adventures. The game dynamic changed, and with it, our community began to slowly drift apart. For years, I tried to host events only to have an exciting start, and watch as it faded to nothing time and time again. The core of ESO has become soloable, and now communities like ours simply aren't needed anymore in Tamriel. And, you know, he goes on to say that they're pulling the plug on their ESO activities and community, essentially because it's so inactive. The one part that really resonated with me here is this part, like, the core of ESO has become soloable, and now communities like ours simply aren't needed anymore. And I feel that as well. I feel like the function and purpose of guilds have diminished quite a bit. There's no need really for a guild that isn't a trade guild, from my perspective. Obviously, you know, with so many people leaving and with the retention rate being so bad for newer players, It doesn't really feel like if you're a guild officer or guild, or if you're in guild management, it just doesn't feel worth it. It feels like you're fighting a losing battle to a degree. Obviously, this is not the case for everybody, but this is just my feelings on the matter.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. Like when you have content that revolves around mostly solo, single player, PvE content, and you're continuously not improving things for veteran players, constantly driving, like creating more turnover in that end, guilds are going to suffer. And so although guilds are cool, especially from a trading guild perspective, outside of that, what else do you use a guild for? Like people used to use guilds for, nights to go PvP or whatever, but with the turnover the way it is, it's just, I can only imagine like trying to constantly add and remove players that are constantly appearing and disappearing on your membership list, trying to keep something remotely healthy. But yeah, it's like, I remember beginner guilds going to help people out, right? Like help, like, oh, we'll help you do this, we'll help you farm this. Why even bother now? This shit's so like everything is just so easy to do. You just don't have that sort of community that you may have had 5 years ago.
Speaking as a GM as well. And it really just resonated with me. It's like, well, if there's no communities like that or no need for that, then there's also no need for me. Do you really need, do people really need a build video for, the same, it's all the same thing, right? It's just all the same thing. Do you really need another build video to get 130k DPS? It's just, do you really need a solo PvE overlane build? I mean, you could do all this content, but it's just so soulless, so boring. I don't think, and a lot of us have really done serious theory crafting in a long time. And I feel like if you are gonna theory craft for newer players or lower level, I'd rather just not make really bad, shitty builds and call it a day. Like that's just that's just not me. I have to comment on this. There's been times in the past where I've looked at it and I'm like, man, I see these solo one bar builds, and they've been existed before Oaken Soul, right? Or the solo anything builds, and I'm not calling any individual person out because it's not any individual person. But there's some setups out there that I looked at and I was just like, you could do better than that. You can definitely do better than that for that content. But yeah, they get 50,000, 100,000 views because new players want to see something. They're like, oh, cool, I get to beat this game the easiest way possible. Sign me up. And yeah, there's no challenge. There's just no challenge in this game anymore. Like, unless you do one of like 2 or 3 things. It's just super freaking easy. And as far as content goes, it's the exact same way. And you have a few content creators out in the space that know this, and they just post shitty build after shitty build because they know they'll get views, and they know that the players are of an experience that won't realize that their builds are shitty. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not calling anybody out directly. There are a few of them, and if you know a little bit about the game, you would see it. And some people will probably bring up like, oh, well, if you're not gonna make ESO YouTube content or whatever, or guides or builds, maybe you should do it for newer players. And again, this is gonna sound kind of messed up, but maybe some people will understand where I'm coming from here. I feel like the retention rate for newer players is so bad, helping them is pointless. Like, you give a new player gold or help them out and answer all their questions and stuff like that, and help them whatever. And then like 2 months, maybe 3 months if you're lucky, later they quit the game.
Yeah. So funny story. A friend of mine in ESO, she played like 5 years ago, and then she stopped playing. Life happened. She came back. She hadn't played in 5 years, and she's like, I'm gonna give ESO a solid shot. And so she's been playing for like the last month or so, and a lot of people have been jaded. A few of my friends are like, just quit, like, it's not worth playing. And she's like, no, 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 I want to figure it out. I want to figure this out. It looks fun. Like when it's working, it looks fun. And she'll just randomly post stuff like, hey, why is my stamina bar not recovering? Why can I not weapon swap? Why is my potion not going off? Like she would just post these little clips, and it's like, that's the game. That has nothing to do with you. Are you sure? Are you sure it has nothing to do with my build? Correct. It has nothing to do with what you're doing. This is just what the game is. It's just like, well, this is bullshit. and it sucks. It sucks because you see somebody like wanting to enjoy the game because of when it works well, like it's actually enjoyable, and it's just slowly, like, she's only a month in, so, but she's already quit for a few days, and then she came back to try again, and she's like, I'm gonna see how it goes. I'm just gonna see how it goes, whatever, I don't care. And she brought another friend to play the game, and he played for a week and he quit. And this is anecdotal. It is completely anecdotal, and I know this, but I have, like, I've seen that. I'm seeing this playing out in real time, and you see it with the numbers too. You see it with numbers with ESO in general. This is the way it's been for the last 4 years. There's a reason that the community numbers aren't going up, despite having their free-to-play weekends, despite having all these other things happening. People get really disinterested with this game for one reason or another.
So it just feels like a never-ending thing. It just doesn't feel right to me. So I don't really care about that. Things have become very seasonal in terms of content and player retention.
Yep.
For the past few years for ESO.
Yep.
And yeah, that's really it. So what does this mean? It means ultimately, as far as you and I are concerned as a community, as a YouTube channel, and thank you again for all your support over the years. I will not be making any more ESO YouTube content as consistently as in the past. I'm not going to be uploading 7-8 videos a week about ESO like I have been. It doesn't mean I won't make ESO videos from time to time. Maybe I'll still do a couple patch notes. I'll still do general stuff like covering really outrageous or big news, right? Like the whole Crown Store shutting down thing. But that's it, really. It's going to be ESO is going to be a very seasonal thing for me at best. Eventually, probably nothing after that. As for like the current ESOU projects and websites, we are still hard at working and updating a lot of things. We're not abandoning that because these are resources that players who want to keep and will play ESO will continue to use. One of the next videos I'll be making actually is going to be going over our biggest and last, because it is a really big update for ESOU's website, where it'll basically make it so that all the things we can add to the website itself in terms of functionality and seamless experience for both mobile and desktop users. It'll basically be the only update that we ever need to help people keep up with anything ESO. So I'm shifting basically all my like YouTube efforts into just websites. So ESOU will still be up. The ESO Discord server with 23,000 people, that'll still be there. It's a great resource. We'll be doing a final update for ESO directory by the end of September, and we are still working on bringing you ESO Explorer, where you can see every model and asset in 3D and AR, or augmented reality. So there's one or two more projects we've had as well developing for ESOU and ESO players that will make playing the game a lot easier. Those are also the last projects we'll do.
That's great.
Am not intent on...
So I'm just laughing at making ESO
we're already running at a loss, because traffic for ESO is quite down.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with running all these at a loss or whatever. But no, we are probably not going to do any more projects for ESOU or ESO after our next two. And that's it.
Makes sense. You get to hear it from a person's perspective looking at traffic that he has on his channel. less and less people are interested in following content for this game. Now, I'm not saying you, or just like the anecdotal evidence I provided earlier, somebody going to be like, oh, I'm still playing this game, it's great. Awesome. That's anecdotal evidence that the game is great. The broad scope is, frankly, this game has been struggling for a while. And it's been that way for a while. And it's a damn shame. It really is.
I don't know if anything's going to change after that. As for the ESOU podcast, it's been a wonderful time, and I think we'll do these occasionally as well. We'll be bringing in some engaging and interesting guests for us to talk to and for you to listen to, but it will not be as frequent as before, most likely.
Last since June 12th.
Yeah, and as far as my playtime is concerned in ESO, you might see me stream the Saturday and Sunday raids with the two groups I'm running with, but after those two groups are done with their goals of getting the Sanity's Edge and Dreadsail Reef trifectas, I'll probably also quit raiding. And yeah, and as for like Twitch streams and YouTube streams or whatnot, I'll maybe stream ESO occasionally as well, just not every day or every two, like as much as I'm doing, as much as I've done. So for the 10-year anniversary of ESO next year, I'll probably do something special as well in the form of a kind of like a 10-year history of ESO video, which is gonna be a big project. But I think beyond that, it's time for me to move on in video as a video content creator from ESO.
Man, this is tough to see. Like, so I watched last year Nefas coming out with videos after update 35, just as upset as the rest of us were. For those of you guys that have been around and haven't quit and are still paying attention to videos, I remember Nefas posting videos about update 35. I remember Skinny Cheeks posting videos about update 35. I was doing the exact same thing, and I was like, they got to do something here. They're literally pissing off the entire community. And I saw the same thing coming from Nefas's perspective, being a little bit more critical with some of his remarks at the time. And yeah, they had a come to Jesus moment. I remember the video came out back in November where Nefas came out and said that like the developers pulled a bunch of content creators in and they asked, hey, what can we do? What can we do to improve this game? What can we do to get players back? Like, we upset so many people. What can we do? And some of the things that they brought up at that point in time were, hey, we need a better reward system. We need a better reward system. We're getting trash loot. Nothing has been improved here. It is really annoying to deal with. What has happened since then? Nothing. It has been 10 months now, and they have not improved the loot system at all in 10 months. So that's the first issue. The second issue is I did a video a few months ago talking about the how in the Crown Store there's a way to get Radiant Apex mounts, and people have done the math and have shown that if you do all of the different things, it takes you 6 months logging in every day, doing all of the rewards, all of the endeavors in order to get a Radiant Apex mount. It'll take you 6 months. And ZeniMax came out and made that harder. And my point of view in that video was there's only one aspect of this game that ESO has made harder, and the only thing that they've made harder to do is to get stuff for free. And it's just a shitty mechanic. It's just a shitty way to go about doing things. It's like you're once again, instead of coming out with good content, instead of coming out with creative ways to get people playing and enjoying the game and making money through something like ESO Plus, you're just basically like, you want the Radiant Apex mount? We think you're going to get bored before you actually get it for free. That's what we're trying to do. We want you to get bored and end up buying it. That way you pay for it instead of farm it for free. 6 months isn't like being patient for 6 months. No, we want to make it longer. And it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And so that was one of the aspects. I remember Nefas talking in the video too, where he's like, hey, every single person in there was saying, you guys got to help PvP. You got to help PvP. You got to make something better for PvP. And apparently, according to that video, everybody was in agreement. Like, yeah, PvP's in a shit spot. Everybody agrees that PvP's in a shit spot. What has happened in the 10 months since then? Nothing. I posted on the forums about 2 or 3 months ago asking about this big update that they were supposed to have in the fall. They were supposed to be re-architecturing their server. They were supposed to be doing all these things, and it was going to streamline everything and make it great, right? And it started like 2 years ago as a project. It took longer than expected. They said it was going to be Q3 of 2023. So I asked about it. And I got a comment, and they basically said, yeah, everything that we tried didn't work. We're not sure if anything we're going to do is going to work, so we rolled back a lot of the changes that we attempted to make because it didn't make anything better. And so they've had 2 years of trying to do this re-architecture thing, and there was no update outside of me having to ask as a person that wasn't playing anymore. I was just curious. I was like, well, what have they done? And so when I saw that, I was just like, from my perspective, they don't care to update the game. They don't care to reward players with more enticing loot. They don't care to allow the game beat. They don't want to make it shorter for people to get stuff like Radiant Apex mounts. They wouldn't want to provide mounts for players outside of paying for them. Like that's the perspective. They don't want to provide mounts for people outside of paying for them. So this entire like come to Jesus moment that happened last November, just like everything else that has happened, has been bullshit. And it sucks to see it on net. Like you see it on Nefas' face. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to be done playing. Like this is a big decision. Like he was probably considering this decision last year, and he decided against it. He went for another 9 months, 10 months, and now we're here.
In terms of other content, I have made a separate Patreon for those of you who want to help support our future content on the channel and elsewhere. Because the ESOU Patreon that a lot of you support, all that money goes directly into ESOU and its projects, not to me. So I made a separate personal Patreon for anyone who'd like to keep up with anything exclusive or things I do behind the scenes, like with Starfield review, the early review I did. So you can check that out. I'll link it in the video description and comments down below. And of course, we're keeping the channel sort of gaming focused. I want to do a bunch of stuff. I want to do game reviews. I feel like the mistrust of video game journalists could maybe see something like maybe a review site by creators or just gamers that are passionate about the games. Something like that. I don't know. I think for sure I'm going to be focusing and maining Starfield content. I really want to get into lore content for Starfield and other games. If I have to do another MMO, if I have to do MMO content, it's probably not going to be ESO. It's probably going to be, Ashes of Creation. If I'm going to do shooter content, it's not going to be Apex Legends or anything like that. It's probably going to be Bungie's upcoming marathon. So that's kind of my mind, where my mind is at right now. And I did also recently, just for fun as well. Again, all this is for fun. I did also start a history channel where I just upload history shorts. I've been actually enjoying making YouTube shorts, so you'll probably see a lot more shorts from me on both this channel and the history channel. So, because that is my main field of work, I am a historian. So I figured, why not just make these random fun shorts for people to enjoy, and it's been going actually swimmingly well, as you can see from the views. I've also started with other content creators, a content creator org. So some of you might be familiar with creator orgs like OTK or 100 Thieves. So we got 7E, and we have quite a few content creators that you probably recognize. So yeah, we're doing a lot of interesting things, and I hope you'll stick with me on the journey here. And last bit of news, I guess, is I'll be retiring from Sempiternal's ESO leadership. For those of you who know, that's Semp has been around in ESO since 2015. We got like 3,000 people in our Discord server, and I went back into leadership because stuff about a year and 4 months ago, after stepping down years and years ago. So I'm taking care of all that, and I'm going to step down from the ESO leadership. We'll probably rendezvous with a bunch of our friends who've moved on from ESO in a different game. We're gonna have, as tradition since 2015, we're gonna have our usual big Halloween guild event in ESO on PC North America, and that'll kind of also be my going away party at the same time. So everyone watching this, you are more than free to join us. You're invited on Halloween, and yeah, it's gonna be a Halloween event that will certainly make memorable. Other than that, yeah, I just wanna give that update because some people have been asking me, well, are you quitting ESO? Yes, I'm basically sort of quitting ESO, at least on the YouTube end, and a lot of it's going away on the streaming end. But much of my content where I can still help people, where I can still provide resources, is going to be through websites and
Okay. Well, yeah, you guys should go check out his channel. You should go watch this video, leave a like. If you like Nefas' content, leave a subscribe, do those sorts of things. And yeah, it sucks to see, man. It really does. I haven't had a ton of interaction with Nefas over the years because we're just covering two different forms of content. But yeah, there's just a changing of the guard, which for your newer content creators, you can look at it potentially as an opportunity. But I don't know. There's just not much one there. I don't want to speak for anybody else. I think everybody sees the same thing. And so from a content creator's perspective, this is just an area that just isn't going very well. From a gaming perspective, it's all subjective to what you enjoy. And so I've always left it that way. If you enjoy the game, play the game, right? Like that's what you should do. And if you're not enjoying the game, you shouldn't play the game. And so this is a big resource. This is a big resource leaving the ESO community. And I think, I'll be completely honest, I think the ESO development team has nobody but themselves to blame for it, because that's their game that they're driving forward, and they're not listening to players. They're not listening to feedback. They're not making a good game. They're lying to people. Like, you want to say I'm not telling the truth? I've done so many videos on this. I've done so many videos. And yeah, it's just the way it is. This is a game that literally is just trying to milk every last penny they can for the minimal amount of effort required. And it's a shame. It's a shame. It looks like an EA game right now from the outside looking in. And it's really shitty. So, but yeah, that's just the way it goes sometimes. That's just the way it is. And I wish Nefas the best of luck. I really hope that he finds other games and other content to cover that he finds himself passionate about. And yeah, wish him nothing but the best. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.